Hi everyone, it's me, C Lefty Run. Sorry, I just got back from a run. So I was like, I'm gonna do the video now. By the time I shower and everything, everyone's gonna come home. And I don't like doing the videos when people are home. So you're getting me right after a run. I just literally got back from Vegas like 2 hours ago, and I came home and I changed my clothes and I went out the door to do my run. So, in thinking about this cycle, what am I in? Week 11. This is week 11. That is the thing I am most proud of is despite all the setbacks I've had, I have gotten in every run I had planned. So with the hip injury and the chest cold, I never missed a run. And some people would be like, oh, you didn't listen to your body. You didn't let your body rest. I think I know my body well enough. And I've been sick to where I'm like, I know I can't run. This cold was pretty bad, but I was able to do my runs easy at least. And I knew, like I said in the last video, based on my heart rate, that I wasn't doing any significant damage. Like when I'm talking to you right now, I can still hear my cold like a little bit. Hopefully next week I won't hear it at all. But it's so much better than it was. So I'm going to get into week 11. So week 11, I ran 52 miles. I was supposed to run 57 miles. And honestly, I felt like 57 was a lot given the week prior I had done 60. And I know some plans they do like cutback weeks. I was like, where's my cutback week? Not much of cutback weeks on this schedule. So I was also going to support my husband this week in Baker to Vegas. And because of that, I had to move a lot of things around. And he's come to every one of my races but one, the one that I like had a huge PR. No, maybe two. He's been to all of them. I've bought this Boston will be my 13th marathon. He's been to all but two, both of them the Rebel Big Bear, because we live so close and it's hard to spectate. So I just usually will drive up and then my kids will have sports or something. So to not interrupt their lives, he'll stay and do whatever he needs to do with them. And then I go and run Rebel Big Bear. So my point being that I had to go with him to Vegas because we always volunteer at Baker to Vegas, never has he ran. And the team that the department that he works for is quite competitive in terms of running. Like they look at your times and your Strava, and it's like you're either in or you're out. So for a while he thought he was in, then he thought he was out, and someone dropped. So then he was like able to do it. So for the first time, he's been in with the department for, gosh, 25 years, 26 years. He finally got to run. So I'll go over all that in a minute. But so Sunday I did 6 easy, and my average pace was a 9:48. My heart rate was a 129. See how low it was? And yeah, so that was Sunday. Monday, I did 6 easy again at a 9:55 pace, and my heart rate was 131. Pace is slower, my heart rate was higher. Who knows? Tuesday, I had to take a rest day because I had to move things around. So it just made sense for me to take Tuesday as my rest day. It was also my son's birthday on Tuesday. So after work, I wasn't going to ditch his birthday and run long. Like there's things, very few things I will move runs around for. My kids and their like birthdays, I don't even really move things around for their sports. Like my husband will usually, like if there's a game early in the morning, um, I won't move my Saturday run to Sunday. So he'll usually just cover the early game. And then the weekday games I'm able to do because of my work schedule. So that's kind of how we balance things out. So anyway, I took a rest day. It was his birthday. And then Wednesday, I did my Tuesday workout. So I moved it to Wednesday, which is normally my rest day. I had 6 times 4-minute hill repeats. There is an area in Long Beach. There's quite a few with hills. It is hard to find a 4-minute hill. So this workout was supposed to be, I think it was supposed to be five times 4 minutes uphill. So I did 6 because it wasn't quite 4 minutes going up that hill. It's like maybe 3.5. So you're also supposed to run it at a faster than marathon paced uphill. Well, guess who's not going faster than? Well, or I could, but like I'm not going to get in 6 or whatever. So I just always do the hill repeats by effort. And then, to be honest with you, in Boston, I'm not gonna be like trudging up the hills, like looking at my watch pace. Like I always, when it comes to the day of the marathon, I always run by effort. And I just hope that my effort at my goal marathon pace feels good. But if it doesn't, I don't force it. I just kind of go with what I know at this point is comfortably hard. So anyway, I ran that in a 9:16 and I was still blowing my nose. I had a thing of Kleenex with me. I had to pull over and cough a few times. Like I would get chest congestion. And like when it rattles, like you're breathing and it's rattling, and I would try to cough and I couldn't get it up, but I could feel the rattle. So I'd literally have to stop and like get it out. It's just a mess. And I'm like blowing my nose. And then there was a ton of traffic going up this 6th Street. I'm like, it's 9 a.m., folks. What are you doing going up 6th Street? It's a residential neighborhood. It's not like on a main drag. So I was just cursing in my mind the whole time. I hated everything about this run. I just wanted to get it done. The only plus after this run was that there's a sandwich shop at 2nd and PCH, which is rather expensive. And there's this tuna sandwich I like. So I was like, you know what? I'm getting myself a tuna sandwich. Ran 12 miles through traffic and blowing my nose. And anyway, so my average pace was a 9:16, and that was that. I don't know what my heart rate was. Thursday, I ran 8 at a 9:18 pace, and my average heart rate was at 140. And this is where I think I might have screwed up. I think so I had this Wednesday hard run, right? Then I go for 8 on Thursday, and I should have taken it much easier. But yeah, I didn't. So then Friday, this 2 by 5 miles I was supposed to do on Thursday, but I moved it to Friday because I was leaving for Vegas on Saturday and I couldn't do my long run on Saturday. So I just kind of like combined things. That's why I was short 52 miles instead of 57, but it is what it is. Life happens. So my average pace for the 14 miles was an 8:50, and it was a struggle. Like I had 2 times 5 miles at marathon pace. So the first 5 miles felt pretty good at like I was at an 8:10. I didn't feel great though. Didn't feel great. And then I did the 1 mile recovery in between, and then I got into the next 5, and I just couldn't, like, it was feeling way harder than it should. I was like, if I was running a marathon right now, there's no way I can hold on to this. So I let go and I was like, forget it, just finish the run, girl, finish the run. So I finished the second 5 in 8:51. And it was so funny. There was these 2 women walking their dog in the park. And I just kept doing circle after circle. And I got to the point they were like, I was like, I know, I have one more loop, ladies, one more loop. So, and they were filming something in the park, and I just wasn't really mentally in a headspace. I was just feeling worn out from having to like back up all these runs. And I wasn't mentally in a place where I really wanted to go for it. So I had a couple strikes against me. I was tired from, Wednesday and then the Thursday 8, and now Friday I'm pushing my body again. And then mentally, I just wasn't in the headspace. I didn't feel like doing it. So it sucked. Saturday, I did a real easy 6. I came home on Friday feeling totally defeated. I told my husband, I was like, that's it, I'm not running tomorrow. I'm just going to take a rest day. I need a rest day. And he was like, okay, yeah, that's probably a good idea. And he already knows at this point, like he can't talk me out of crazy. And then the next morning, like I couldn't sleep very well the night before. And so I got up at like 5. I knew we were leaving for Vegas at 8. And I was like, well, I might as well go for a run because I'm awake. So I did a 6 really easy on Saturday. My average pace was a 10:14. Heart rate 134. That's because I had crappy sleep the night before. So when we left to Vegas on Saturday, we drove straight to Baker, got there around 11. He was running leg 5. I was doing support for legs 1 through 7. So I followed all the runners from the start to leg 7. And then my husband started at leg 5. And let me tell you, Death Valley, I think it is, Legs 1 through 3, super windy, super sand blowing everywhere. And I was in the car and I had all the like waters and stuff for the guys. And I had to like roll up my window because I was like getting pelted in the face with sand. These poor guys just like plowed through it and had really good attitudes about it too. I was like, I'd be cursing up a storm right now. They're just pushing through, in the sand and blowing. It was a headwind and not a tailwind. So anyway, I have a video on my Instagram. You can see it's quite messy. The sand was insane. So my husband did like 5. He did really well. He was projected at 730s, like average pace 730s. He ended up doing 729. Mind you, we were in a 10K the week prior, and his average pace was like an 804. So to come back a week later, but that's just, when you're on a relay team and there's projections, that's a lot of pressure. So I guess it worked for him. And he did really well. I was kind of like watching my son when he pitches, watching him run. I was like, oh gosh. I was like, just don't DNF. Like, don't. If you DNF, you get a 10-minute penalty. Like you have the alternate runner go in and the team gets a 10-minute penalty. And I'm like, it's almost better DNFing, like unless your limb falls off, right? Like just run walk. That would be better than taking a 10-minute penalty. The longest leg in Baker to Vegas, I believe, is 11 miles. And most of them are between 4 and 6. So yeah, just run walk would be my suggestion, unless you, like I said, unless a limb falls off or something. So yeah, so he ended up doing really great. The team overall, they're in the 300 division. That means they have 300 employees or less. They came out second. For many years, they were first in their division, and then Ontario PD came in, and they have some real fast runners, that Ontario PD. And so they beat them by 3 minutes. Took them 14 hours and 59 minutes to finish from the city of Baker to Vegas. I don't know how many miles that was exactly. But my husband's team has some really fast runners who are running in like the low to mid 6s. So he has a captain that still runs. He's not a captain anymore. He's retired. I think his marathon PR was like a 2:30. So they're very competitive. And yeah, so 3 minutes out of first place, pretty good. They came out 19th overall, I think over 247 teams. So it was really fun just to like follow the first 7 runners. Of course, this time I was looking at all their shoes. And a couple years ago when I supported it, I knew about super shoes at that time. And then I was looking at the runners in Baker to Vegas, and very few had super shoes on. I was like, why isn't anyone wearing super shoes? Well, this year they all had super shoes. It was either from ASICS or Nike or something, but they all had them. And I was like, okay, now everyone knows about the super shoe trend. So after he finished, we drove back to Vegas. We didn't get back to Vegas till like 11 p.m. or so. Exhausted. I had sand all over myself. Sunday, we had brunch. And then, my husband and I, we're in our mid 40s. He's been an officer, he's a lieutenant now, but for 25 years. And so you got a lot of these younger guys that are there and they want to go do the pool party, right? And so I was like, oh, pool party, really? And it was cold and kind of rainy. So I was like, okay, I'll go in my parka. Like I'm not getting in the pool. I'm not, I'm going to be comfortable in my jeans and my parka because this is not pool weather. And so many people don't care and they get in anyway. They're like, oh, we're in Vegas, we're going to the pool. So that was interesting and fun and just different. Anyway, I got back today and literally changed my clothes and went on a run. And then Sunday I ran on the treadmill at the hotel, which is agonizing for me. Oh, and there was a guy a couple tournaments in also training for Boston. We didn't chit chat, but I saw his shirt. So like Boston 2024. And so that was kind of motivating. But yeah, so today I finally feel normal. I feel like I'm able to pick up the pace a little bit. Thank gosh, I'm over this cold now. It took me 20 some odd days, like from start to finish. And it's still not totally finished, but I know it's just like I need rest. I need rest. I need a good night's sleep. And I need to really get Boston's 3 weeks from today. I told my husband, I was like, it's all about Boston now. I need to rest. I need to recover. The hay is in the barn, or whatever they say. So yeah, I hope your running's going well. And we will talk again at the end of week 12. Have a great day. Bye.